Awesome. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
So this is the Minnesota Music Note, and I kind of started it almost as an excuse to sit around and chit chat with different musicians that I kind of know but don't know
Yeah.
that well. So this is a great way just to deep dive a little bit into who you are and
Yeah.
what brought you into the music scene, and
Mhm.
just talk a little bit about the shape and size of the music scene and the things going on out there.
Yeah.
I'm already like working on a web directory website, if you will, where it's like different things going on and every person can have a profile, but I also want to get into like venues and
Yeah.
uh, people who are organizing big concerts and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it's funny because I already knew you, but the guys from Bogarts who were
Yeah.
on the show,
Yep.
the episode's actually coming out this Thursday.
Oh,
They're the
cool.
ones that recommended you because they were trying to think of from some different people that are quite well connected, and
Yeah.
your name popped up. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah, at least 3 of our bands have played there, or so they're like, "Oh, you again," you know? So, you again." So,
that's
yeah.
cool. That's cool. So yeah, I just to start this out, why don't you
Yeah.
tell me who you are? I know who you are, but the audience may not. Just tell me who you are.
Beth Hill, recently Hill, was Brennan before that, was Norris before that. I am just a local singer here in the Minneapolis, cover band scene, tribute band scene, some original recording projects as well. And it's a hobby. I got a day job, so this is something I love to do, and I'm everywhere.
You are everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you turn in any direction, you'll see Beth doing a new project.
Yeah, yeah. Fortunately or unfortunately, if you don't like seeing me, you're not gonna like being in this scene. Because right now I'm kind of saturating places, but that's okay because I figure um, I am not 25. I'm a long ways from 25, and once I started with the various bands with whom I perform, getting good gigs and a good following, I thought, I'm gonna really do as much as I can while I have a voice. I think it's different for a guitar player.
Mhm.
When they're bending the strings, they can probably do that well into their 70s or what have you. And with a vocalist, you're on a shorter time frame.
For sure.
Even if you take care of yourself, your
Mm.
instrument is your body. So I thought I'm going to get as much recording as I can done so that when my voice gives out, I still have that. Performances still have that. So I'm kind of going really hard into this right now, just to have that catalog of work.
Interesting. So you said 2 very interesting things there. First one I wanna know about is you said there's some original stuff going on. Now that one I don't think is a project that I know about, so tell me more about that if you can,
Yeah,
if it's
yeah.
ready for release yet.
Okay. Well, I've done things in the past with Creatures in the Parlor, which was like a wine bar band. So there are things that are released out there, like on Spotify or whatever, years old. But I also do recording with the Blue Rain Band, which is Eric Menji and Drew Hayes band. And they haven't done any live performances yet, but I've been on a number of their albums, and I'm actually doing some recording next weekend
That's cool.
for one of their original pieces. I've also recorded some stuff for them where I was able to write the melody and lyrics. So they just gave me here's the name of the song. It's
Mm.
called Autumn Highways. I'm sorry, Eric and Drew, if I gave that away. And can you write lyrics and melody to this? So I did do that. So that's one original project. Another one that was released about a year ago was a group called Rise Above Instinct, and they're out of Indiana. They found me online somewhere in the YouTube stratosphere, and they're actually American symphonic metal.
Hmm.
And so think of Nightwish, things along those lines, but Americanized a bit.
Hmm.
And so I recorded about 4 songs remotely, and he released that album in January. So I'll probably do another album. Chad Capper is the head writer on that one. And I was able to write melody to one of those tunes. So I haven't done anything stem to stern of my own in quite a while. So I interpret other people's originals right now just because that's what I have time for.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
It's sometimes the beauty of writing your own music is you get to put a lot of creativity, but yeah, obviously it takes a lot more time
Mhm.
and effort to really kind of, and even listening yourself, record it, listen back. Okay, what do I want to do different here and there? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite fascinating.
But it's easy if somebody gives me something to start with, like they say, here's even a title and here's some chords, I can whip that out pretty fast. So with a couple of these projects where they said, "Hey, can you do lyrics and melody to this, or can you do the melody to this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that really, really fast." But if you're just asking me to stare straight ahead and start writing, you kind of have to be in the right frame of
Stare into
mind.
the void, come up with something, huh?
Yeah, and you're gonna come up with stuff at weird times. You're at the gym or you're in the shower or whatever, and so you have to have your phone with you, and that's when I was more into writing original music, and I just ran out of time for that, so yeah.
It's funny, one of the, episodes that just came out, as an old bandmate of mine, Brady Morin, he's a bass player, but, and also guitarist and singer or whatever, but he got inspired by a burrito. Like, he had a burrito one day, and
I love
he
that.
just said it was just like it was such a good burrito that this juices started to flow, and he literally just sat down and started writing, so
So, you get inspiration in the most bizarre places,
right?
so,
It can come
yeah.
from anywhere.
Yeah.
So the second thing that you said that I found was really fascinating was yes, yeah, as a vocalist, I'm a drummer, know nothing about vocal, right? But I do understand the instrument, and as you get older, it becomes more difficult to maintain that voice and take care
Mhm.
of it. But tell me about maybe some singers out there that you see that are still doing it, that it just fascinates you, that they're still pulling it off at
Yeah.
you know at an older.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would say, Todd Latore of Queensryche currently. He is their current lead singer, and he is 50 or 51,
mm,
and he is singing all of the songs in the original key that they were written, so no steps down. Up until about a year ago, I would say is Celine Dion, but she was afflicted with a very rare disease called stiff person syndrome, which is, a loss of muscle control.
oh, really?
And it does affect your throat, and so she can't control that, but she was what is she now, 57? Until that, I saw her when she was just about to hit 50. I think it was in the end of 2018 or 2017, so she would have been in her late 40s, and I saw her in Vegas at her residency, and she was absolutely astonishing, just incredible. So there are still artists out there who can do it. They just have to take care of their instrument. Don't drink a lot. Don't,
Yeah.
So I don't drink during gigs except at the end. I might take a sip here and there just to sell booze, but that's about it. I have to be very, very careful because I know it's just a very delicate instrument. It's like putting your drums outside in the humidity. If you're
Right.
playing out
Right.
there, you're going to need to
Yeah.
key and tune those things all the time. So it's just taking care. I know there are other ones that are. I mean, Barbara Streisand was singing probably well into her 60s at a really good power level.
Mm.
So, yeah, there's artists out there doing it.
One that, stood out to me that I saw recently, I went actually Kevin Sundberg had gotten he and I tickets to, Judas Priest.
Oh my gosh, Rob Halford.
He's 72 or
Yes.
74 years old, and I was floored. 'Cause,
I
well, we're first of all, I'm not a huge, fan of the band, like,
Yeah.
not a long-term I'm a huge fan now, not a long-term fan, so I didn't really know their deck of music, and I was
Mhm.
surprised how heavy it was, which is
Mhm.
cool for me because 'cause I'm very much
Yeah.
heavy music, but then to hear him belting out those notes and just it was insane.
I saw them with Queensryche, actually, Judas Priest, Queensryche, and Mankato. I think it was at the end of 2022,
Wow.
and I was in, like, the 8th row, and I'm like you, I wasn't a huge Judas Priest fan. My husband was just in a Judas Priest tribute,
Right.
joining that at the time, and I thought, "Oh, that's really interesting, Queensryche tribute," and I was about to join a Queensryche tribute, so I went and saw it, and I had no expectations of Judas Priest, like 0. I'm like, "Okay, I know 3 songs. He's probably gonna sound really old," but he sounds incredible, and, they released an album, maybe it was at the beginning of this year. So they're still releasing new music, and it was really astonishing how good it was.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't taking the easy way out,
Right.
he's
Right.
still pushing
Right.
for some of those notes, so, yeah,
And the
bless
whole
him.
band, I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's the same drummer from back in the day too,
You're probably right.
and he's playing Painkiller, some other song
Yeah.
as drummers, you're like, "Man, I gotta work up to that.
Yeah,
You can't just whip that out, you know?"
yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Impressive, yeah, Rob Halford, if I had thought of him, that's a good one. That's a super good one.
Very cool. So great. Tell me about, okay, so I'm gonna throw one of my fun
Okay.
questions at you
Okay.
now because I actually wanna know, and I bet you there's people in the audience who wanna know.
Okay.
MegaBeth.
Oh,
Who's responsible? Who do you give credit for coming up with that, and where did it come from?
everybody will say they came up with it.
Everybody will? Okay.
Everybody will say they came up with it, particularly at Mad Mike's open mic, so holler to all of them. There was a jam family chat that was started a number of years ago, probably 2021-ish.
Okay.
And in Sugar Buzz, I was singing primarily top 40 type music. And as I attended that open mic more and more, I was being asked to sing heavier and heavier stuff. Do you know any Iron Maiden? No. Can you learn some Iron Maiden? Okay. Do you know any Queensryche? No. Can you learn some Queensryche? Okay. So I was learning these heavier songs, and in this chat group, they were talking about, boy, you sure know a lot of heavy stuff now. I think that's changed your pop princess sort of um title or reputation. And I said, yeah, just call me MegaBeth. And so I named me that, but I didn't think it was going to stick. It was in this private chat, and we all got a good chuckle out of it. But then Mad Mike started calling me that on stage. And now when I go up to sing, they have a printed set list, and it doesn't say Beth anymore. It just says Mega on it if I'm, listed as the singer. And so I thought, oh, that's really funny. And it just stuck everywhere I went. People went, oh, you're Mega Beth. And so I thought, oh, what the heck? And so my latest project I named after that, because it's I'm a person who's transitioning into trying a new genre, or a new to me genre of music. So yeah, I came up with it myself. That's not even a fun story. That's just a boring story where, I
But now
quipped
we
it
know.
myself.
Now,
Now we know.
now it can
Yeah.
no longer be disputed because
No, I
it
did
did
it myself.
recorded here today
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Yeah.
So
It was
and,
just a matter of it sticking. I just didn't think it was gonna stick, and it
and,
stuck.
and it
So
really stuck. Yeah.
it really stuck. Yeah. And I'm not mad.
So the MegaBeth Project, I think, is the newest thing
Yeah.
are going on. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, tell me about that. Tell me how it came together. Tell me what the goal is. Tell
Yeah.
me what the plans are for it.
Okay. The MegaBeth Project, my husband and I were actually dreaming of it a couple years ago, and we just kind of named it as on the side, as saying, when we have time, let's get this MegaBeth Project together. And the idea of it is performing songs that people would mostly recognize, but are not performed in the normal cover band circuit. So, for instance, you don't see a lot of people performing um, Saigon Kick, Love Is on the Way, or Freak Like Me by Hailstorm, or Pull Me Under by Dream Theater, or Badlands, High Wire, anything by In This Moment, Triumph, some of those types of bands, or deeper cut from popular bands. So we do a Def Leppard tune, but we do Stage Fright, which nobody else is really doing. So the idea was, I think in Sugar Buzz, which is kind of my first love, that's your regular bar band that does everything from Lizzo to Journey to Metallica and kind of everything to keep a dance floor full.
Right.
We took the shackles off of, you don't need to fill a dance floor anymore. So if your job is to not fill a dance floor, if you don't have to, what would you perform if you could? And so we're doing Can't Stop Me Lovin' You by Steelheart. We're doing A Tout Le Monde by Megadeth. John Gensmer is actually singing that one. And so,
Is that right?
yeah,
On
yeah,
drums?
on drums, the
Nice.
drummer's singing it.
Nice.
So the idea was, do songs that we love that's got a little harder edge to it. So we call it the MBP, MegaBeth Project, Rock on the Edge. And they're a little bit harder. All We Are by Warlock. I mean, some of these types of tunes where people are like, oh, that's cool. And I was afraid that there wouldn't be an appetite for it. Honestly, our goal was, I want to get a super group together of people from other bands. So I'm not asking them to leave any current project. So John Gensmer is in Rival 5. Matt Leonetti, who's on keys and guitar, used to be of The Hype, and formerly of also Dead Cowboys and some other projects. And then Mark Ganji, who is the lead guitarist of 75 bands, including Queen of the Reich
Yeah.
and Hebba Jebba and Three Beards and
Three Beards, yeah.
a bunch of other things. And then my husband, Steve, on bass. And that was the other dream. We were in a bunch of bands, but not together. Not together. So it's like, let's do something together. Music we like, with people who have a good reputation. And we're going to put together 90 minutes. And our original idea is we're going to play like 4 to 5 times a year because we're busy. And really, the idea was to open for other bands. Like, we were just going to open for other bands. But we went to shoot a promo video at Bogart's, actually, on a Sunday.
Was that where that was done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. We just covered the sign. They let us cover the sign, and we used their stage on a Sunday and rented the place out.
Cool.
And, Carl was there, and he and Dave Langholtz were there, just kind of running the tape and everything, and we got done shooting, and they said, "Do you want a gig?" And I'm like, "Oh, we weren't even ready for that," but Metallica needed an opener in their August show, so we had our very first show there, and we cobbled together about 70 minutes of things, and we didn't know there was an appetite. We thought, "You know what, if it sucks, if nobody wants to go see this, we'll find out really fast." I was really surprised that there is an appetite for this,
That's cool.
and I think it's just because it's different,
Right.
it's just different material. "Hey, I don't hear this song all
Right.
the time." So
Yep.
that was our desire. We still plan to play about 4 to 5 times a year as schedules allow, but we have a show. By the time this airs, this show might be over with, but January 9th at the Doghouse, and we have, starting the evening off, a Rush tribute band. So,
Yes.
yeah.
What are they?
Exit Stage
Six
Right.
Stage right. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Peter, the
Peter
drummer,
Garden.
and yeah,
Yep, Peter and Casey
and Cassie, yeah.
and Aaron Schmidt, who's also in Queen of the Reich. This is a very incestuous sort of
Right.
business.
Once you get to know the great people in the
Oh, yeah, and Wayne's
everybody wants
are.
to jam together at any point in time.
Yeah,
Yep.
Wayne is in every band. If Tom Moga is not in the band or AC is not in the band,
And Wayne is doing
then Wayne is in the band. So yeah, that's gonna be really fun, and we have another show to announce after that, in April, so yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right, Beth. So take me back before it was Mega. Take me back to little Beth
Yeah.
and tell me, like, when did you wake up one day, or when you were walking around, or when you're in the car with your parents, when were you inspired and you're like, you know what, I think I want to be in a band, or I want to sing, or I want to do this.
I was a dancer
You
in
were.
school, yeah. So I did dance, and was just in high school choir like everybody else was, and madrigals, whatever their show choir is.
Mhm.
And I took maybe a year of, voice. Oh, yeah, I was at a concert. It was like pop concert. It was like the high school pop concert, and somebody tapped my parents on the shoulder and said, "Good God, she sings too." So I wasn't known for singing really in high school at all.
Huh.
I just sang with everybody else. I took a year of it in college, some opera, and was in their jazz choir there, but then gave it up for a long time. And I started pursuing, after that, I for fun just started doing karaoke.
Hmm.
And then I started competing in karaoke. And then I started competing internationally in karaoke. And
Internationally, okay. Why
yeah.
did you go internationally then?
Oh, let's see. In 2017, I kind of gave it up in 2020, but in 2017, I went to Finland,
Wow.
the KWC World Championships in duets with my friend Miko. And
Go Blaze.
yes, Miko Blaze. Yes, we did duets. We got a
I
silver.
would I would like to get him on this show. So
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
you could
he's
put in a good
excellent.
word for me.
Okay,
I'm
I
sure
will.
Ash, he'd probably be like,
He totally would.
yeah, but
He totally would. So we spent a week in Finland together, and he's also the international 2018 solo champion.
wow.
And then I competed in the next one of noteworthiness, 2019, November of 2019, I was the grand champion of the Icing International in Stockholm, Sweden.
What?
That they did, and then COVID and everything happened.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so but I was dabbling in that off and on, and one of my performances, just a local contest, I got a CD of my performances,
Mm.
and I thought, "Oh," I had been in a couple original bands in the early 2000s, and I gave it up. I got married. I moved to a small town south of the cities, and the late 2010s or whatever, I just said, "Oh, let me see if I can try and get into a band." And I just answered an ad for Sugar Buzz, and I gave them my video, right? And I said, "Well, if they don't like me, if they don't want to audition me, they can just see this
Mhm.
and go, nope." But they did. And so I've been with them for over a decade.
Wow.
Yeah. But we toiled in obscurity for a very long time because we would play. People were raising kids, and so we'd play the Richfield American Legion, which is no longer, maybe 6 weekends a year, and that was it for many years.
Mm.
And then we had some changes in drummer. Our drummer was from Brainerd, so we couldn't play that often, and we changed and got his cousin who was local after, the other guy left, after Steve left, and then we just started getting better and better gigs, and so we would probably play maybe 15, 16 times a year, and The open mic scene, I will say, I know Kay has participated, I know you've participated, and there's a lot of fantastic open mics out there. I would say me and the band, Sugar Buzz, and then the subsequent bands formed after that were because of exposure from that,
Yeah.
you know?
It's really neat. I mean,
Yeah.
that's honestly, this podcast, if I have to give credit, it came out of that same network because Kay and I didn't know many people out here, and okay,
Okay.
2013, we dabbled and tried to do a couple bands. We actually started the Hits and the Misses back
Yeah.
then, but it broke up because it was just a three-piece then, and, we went off and did different things, but then we
Mhm.
started getting into the open jams, and I started meeting so many people, and, it's very, outwardly it could be I think the funny thing about us musicians, right, is like right now we're having a great chat, but when you're not here, I'm probably just not gonna talk to anybody, I mean, they're like, I'm very, very much like an extroverted introvert, and
Yeah.
I'd rather be at home, but once you get me out of the house, now,
Yeah,
okay,
good.
and
Yeah.
and then when you get out and you're around a bunch of people who are about your same age and they're all into the same exact thing,
Mhm,
like they'd
mhm.
rather be doing this on a Wednesday night than
Yep.
whatever else there might be, it just felt like a Jamily so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I started getting to know people, it was just like, I wanna get to know people on a deeper level and really, kinda get
For
into this
sure.
sort of thing, was just, yeah,
Yeah.
where the podcast is kinda born, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I definitely thank the jams for just the exposure, the networking is I mean, MegaBeth would not exist, Queen of the Reich would not
Mhm.
exist. I play with Trilogy as well, which is we just played the Medina, and I got to play I got to play the Fitzgerald Theater,
Yeah.
with Trilogy. I mean
That's the one that has, some Pink Floyd stuff.
yes,
I saw your performance of that, I was floored, so amazing.
it's the hardest song I've ever learned
Yes,
because they want you
it's
to
nonstop,
it's
right?
nonstop, but Alex, who runs the band, he wants to create as authentic an experience as possible because
Mm.
fans of these particular bands know
Mhm.
every ooh and ah. They
Mhm.
know everything about it. So he's like, "Yeah, it sounds like this lady's just riffing, and she is, but I need you to learn it exactly as she did it." So
Mm.
all the breaths, the rises, the falls, and you think, "Well, oh, at least I don't have to memorize lyrics." And then I went, oh, no, I don't have to memorize lyrics, so I have to memorize how it's sung in another way.
Hmm.
Purchasing sheet music and then blocking off, like, labeling it, and then I would play the recording along watching the sheet music.
Mm.
Took me like a month to
Wow.
just do that. But all of this, I people would see me online and just say, "Hey, can you do this song? I might have an opportunity for you.
Mm.
Trilogy's looking." So I can't say enough about networking. I really cannot say enough about it. I met my husband at an open mic, so
So that worked
I
out.
can't that worked out. So I just think it's such a wonderful experience, and I'm sure you've experienced this as well. By and large, everybody's super supportive.
Yeah,
Whether you're
and you
awesome,
don't know
whether
them.
you suck. I mean, I play bass and I suck at bass sometimes. And people are encouraging regardless.
Yep,
So it's
yep.
nice.
You'll get
It's
5
super
or 6
nice.
high fives every time you get off the stage, even if drop even if I drop a 6 and I'm playing with my hands,
Yeah.
people still like, "That was cool, man."
Yeah, and you know what? It's also taught me, and it's probably taught you this too, or maybe this is a skill you had before. I don't think I had this skill before, is learning things on the fly, learning how to adjust because, when you're playing with people who you're not normally playing with, you have to adjust to their styles. And if something takes a hard left,
Mm.
you got to kind of roll with it.
Right.
Or there's been instances where, hey, so and so didn't show up tonight. Can you sing this?
Mm.
And so I'm out with my iPhone in the parking lot,
Right.
right, going, "Meh, okay, I think I'll give it a try." But to think on your feet, to increase your capacity
Mhm.
for learning, I
Mhm.
probably have 100 songs that I learned that I would not have known of, and then exposure to artists that I really had not experienced until I heard people performing these artists here or
Mm.
asking me to perform these artists. So just from an educational standpoint, I just think it's really great too. Yeah.
So, going back now and into those archives that you've
Mhm.
built up, all these different songs, what was the hardest one for you to tackle?
Great Gig in the Sky is number 1. Great Gig in the Sky is the hardest. It sounds easier than it is, but she's in her power range, um, all of the time. So she's not hitting really a falsetto. You got to do this like mix like belt. And then reading about it, um, she did it in 2 takes. They used the first take. So she's just extemporaneously going. And the song is about death and coming to terms with death. So the idea is the person is sort of, you can kind of hear it in her name's Claire Torrey, um, in how she vocalizes it. Like there's this shock, there's this anger, this surprise, this pleading, this begging, and then at the end there's this sort of acceptance and sort of rejoice in it. And that is still the hardest song I've ever had to learn. I thought it was Steelheart. Nah, no, it's that one. It's definitely that one.
So what about the symphonic metal stuff? How was that gonna pick it up and the
I really liked that when I was approached with it, I'm like, "Wow, this seems hard." Um, and so I sent him a few tracks, and I don't have my own studio, so I went to my friend's studio, and he's like, "Yeah, this is what I want." I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." I enjoy it tremendously. I mean, I'm just not into country. I like everything else. I've sung country. I've recorded country. I've recorded an original country piece.
Is that right? Interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's out there yet. It's something you put something in the can and then you forget about it for like a year and then like, "Oh, I just released this." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Let me know how that goes for you. So I understand now, like when
What if I
celebrities.
pays you 13 cents? I want my cut,
Oh,
you know?
oh, it's so funny because Chad Capper, the symphonic metal, Rise Above Instinct architect, he wrote all the music, he does all the instruments. He keeps sending me things. He's like, almost ready for that cup of coffee, almost ready for that cup of coffee. And so it's like I think he can afford a McDonald's cup of coffee off of it now, and then we're working up to Starbucks.
Ooh,
So, yeah. Yeah.
Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks keeps going up, so yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So,
good target to hit.
yeah, and I mean, these things are more passion projects, and again, the idea is to say, "Hey, when I'm dead and gone, these pieces will be out there. That will live on."
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
Great legacy.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So what do you have, I mean, you've got many things going on,
Mhm.
many irons in the fires,
Yeah.
will, but do you have anything kind of sitting out there that you've been thinking about doing that we don't know about yet that you could
Nothing secret. I mean, to me, I would like MegaBeth to do well, and I would like to get up to, and my bandmates don't know this yet, like 2 hours of material so that we can have a smaller opener.
Mhm.
And I think we can eventually get there. We've just got our 90 nailed down. With Queen of the Reich, we have a really cool show that we're going to announce the beginning of February for April, and another show that's going to be announced as well. So I think just getting bigger and better shows. And for Sugar Buzz, I mean, we play Vikings games, we've played Canterbury, we've played some pretty amazing stuff. So for me, it's just continuing to get I mean, if you asked me a year ago, "Hey, do you think you'd ever play the Fitzgerald Theater?" I'd be like, "You're high." You're no. But there we go. I'll play the Medina 3 times this year, once with Trilogy and twice with Sugar Buzz. So never say never on those things, and just I'm just going to keep shooting for better and better. So nothing secret, I guess. I'm just trying to keep all the I don't want to take anything else too taxing because I want to give quality to each of the things that I have. I think Chad Capper is coming up with another symphonic metal album,
Hmm.
which will probably take me all year to learn or to record, but that's fine. And that's about it. Yeah, nothing special.
So was there ever a decision point? I mean, you started out as a dancer when you
Mhm.
didn't necessarily think you were gonna get into singing, but was there something that happened somewhere along the way that you're like, "Okay, I think I really wanna get into singing, take this super seriously now."
Um It's funny because 'cause I'm very late to the dance in the cover band scene. So when I auditioned for Sugar Buzz, it was on a lark. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm good for a dozen gigs a year," and I just thought that was the be all end all. And no, the funny part is I never really took it seriously, until Sugar Buzz started getting better and better gigs, and I'm like, "Oh, I should probably take this more seriously."
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I feel funny, like I kind of fell into it a little bit, and I didn't take it seriously probably till I was in my in my late 30s, 40s, which is bizarre, to be coming into your best your best work at a later later stage for a singer in particular. So no, I fell into it 100%. And then I'm like, well, if these fools are giving me more chances and better shows and opportunities, then darn it, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give my best shot. So when we put MegaBeth together, I thought about it for a couple of years, but I thought it was so much hubris to put your own name on something. Like
Mm.
I know there are other people who do that, so I feel, I don't besmirch them any of that.
Sure.
I just didn't think I had enough of a name to be able to do that. But, almost exactly a year ago, we pulled the trigger on it and we got a Zoom call together with some people and said, do you want to do this? And when I was picking up the phone saying, do you want to do this? And people said, yes. I'm like, really? Okay, cool. I didn't think you'd say yes, but okay. So I don't know. I'm in some level of disbelief and, yeah, I should start taking myself a little more seriously.
Well, I think I saw something where you were your one of your bands was taken very seriously, right? I think I saw one of the Queensryche guys wearing a Queen of the Reich.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Oh my gosh. So I guess Queensryche was aware of Queen of the Reich. Michael Wilton, who's one of the founding members and a lead guitar player, is dating a gal who's from Minnesota
Okay.
originally. And so there's some connections there. So they knew of us. They played at Jetpack Junction
Mhm.
this July, right after they played the Midsummer Music Festival. So they went down Jetpack Junction. And Steve and I were going to go, but then there was a mix up with his daughter. And he's like, oh, I've got a daughter weekend. And I'm like, well, I'm still going. I'm going to drive the 2 hours. I'm going to get a hotel. I'm going to stay overnight. And a couple of the guys from Queen of the Reich were going, Dale and Moga. And so we watched the show, and then Eric Menji was in Leadfoot Larry, and they were playing in the lounge after, and I'm like, "Well, I have nothing better to do, so and I would like to see them." So I went into the lounge, and Dale and Tom had to leave after a while, and I thought, "Well, I'm just gonna hang out. I have literally nowhere else to go." All of a sudden, all of Queensryche walks into the bar. All of them. Noticed Michael Wilton's hair immediately, and I went, "I'm gonna go up and say something." And I was wearing my Queen of the Reich T-shirt. So I go up, and they were very nice. Michael's very shy, Stoney's very talkative, and the rest of them are somewhere in between. And I ended up talking to Stoney, Mike Stone, who's the other lead guitar player, for like an hour and a half.
Hmm.
Like, we were just chatting about everything under the sun, and he said, "I like your shirt. Would you send me one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I would send you one." He goes, "I'll wear it on my next tour because we're touring with Accept." And I'm like, "That sounds amazing." So I did send him one, and he said, "I promise I'll wear it on tour." And then that picture, Queensryche posted that picture, and Eric Bulow, our drummer, sent me the picture, said, "Did you see this?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, no." So of course I posted it. Fast forward to a couple weeks ago, when Stoney and I were talking, he said, "I tell you what, we're doing this tour with Accept. If you want tickets anywhere in the show, I'll give you free tickets." I said, "Cool." Well, Paul, my bandmate in Sugar Buzz, happens to have a place in Orlando.
Okay.
And so Steve and I went down there a couple weeks ago, early December. It was a December 2nd show. And I texted Stoney and I said, "We're going to be in Orlando. Can you spare 3 tickets?" And so he got us comp tickets to the House of Blues. And we get there. Accept was amazing. I've never seen Accept before. They were fantastic. And when I got the tickets at Will Call, they had these 3 little patches with it. And it says, it's got the moniker and then it says after show. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And so I say to the will call person, do you know what these little tags are? He goes, I don't know. And he leans back and he asks the lady, he goes, "Hey, do you know what these are?" And she looks at the tag and goes, "That looks like an after show." And I'm like, yes, okay, I got that much. We went back to House of Blues. We're waiting for Queensryche to begin. Nobody working there knows what these things are about.
Hmm.
Minutes before the show is to begin, a guy in a House of Blues shirt says, "Yes, there is some sort of after show. You need to show up at this part of the building after." So went to the show. I was up against the front. Like,
Mhm.
Eddie throws me a pic. He's met me before. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's her." And so we go to the part, and we don't know what we're in for. We have literally no idea what's going on. But we go up the stairs, and it's literally the 3 of us and like 8 other people.
Wow.
And then the band all walks out in their street clothes. It was just a friends and family gathering. It wasn't even like a meet and greet or anything like that. It was just like, hey, if there are
Very
relatives
chill.
there, super chill. And so, both Paul and Steve are going, "Oh my God." Do you know? Because Casey, the drummer, walks out. I'm like, okay, guys, that's Casey, and that's the drummer. And then Stoney walks out. He's like, Beth, how you doing? And it happened to be his birthday like 2 days before. Gives me a big hug, talks to the guys for a long time. I got pictures with all of them, and they were just very, very nice. And I ended up speaking with, this is the funniest part, Michael Wilton, who's again very shy. His girlfriend, Rebecca, is just a lovely, lovely person. And Michael finally speaks up and he says, "So you're from Minnesota?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "So isn't Minnesota the place where they have those beef auctions?" I'm like, "Beef auctions?" And my eyes lit up right away. And Rebecca looked, and we look at each other. And I said, "Do you mean meat raffles?" And he's like, "Is that what they are?" And we started laughing so hard. He meant meat raffles. He was fascinated with the fact that Minnesota does meat raffles. And I said, "Well, you'll be blown over with
I've
a
lived here
feather."
for 10 years with I have no idea what a meat raffle
You
actually
don't
I
know
know they're all over the place. I just
Do you want to know
what exactly is it?
Okay. It's exactly what you think what you think it might be. You for a couple dollars, somebody will walk around and they have these little pieces of paper with a number on them.
Mm.
1 through, I don't know, 30, whatever. And so you buy a number for maybe $2, and then they spin a wheel. And if your number comes up, you win meat. And typically, you would go to a cooler, a big old cooler, and you would pick out packaged meat. And it's for charity, for whatever charity that's going. And that's literally what it is. And
Oh,
they'll
that's
do this for like an hour so you can spend a bunch of money. I've won meat exactly once in my hometown. And this was only like 3 years ago. It's the first time I've ever won meat. But yeah,
She
it's a meat raffle.
did get to meet Queensryche. So
I got to meet Queensryche, and now that this is
and
the
explain to
second
them
time
explain to them what a beef auction is.
what a beef auction is. And now they like kind of know me, you know. And the thing that was incredible, and I wish I had my picture taken with him, but I didn't know who he was. There was this guy there, an older gentleman, because he had white hair, and it was about my length, maybe even longer. And the band was very intent on speaking with him. And so I thought, oh, I wonder if he's a friend or a relative. He ended up being producer Max Norman. So if anybody Googles who Max Norman is,
Hmm.
he produced like Blizzard of Oz and a couple Diary of a Madman
Hmm.
and some of these really incredible, poignant hard rock / metal albums, and he just happened to be in the audience. So he was probably the biggest star there of them all, and I didn't even know who it was. And they're like, and we didn't know who it was until later because Michael Wilton had posted on his page, got to hang out with the legendary producer Max Norman, and we're like, that was Max Norman. So he was one of the 8 people just kind of milling around in this group.
Wow.
So it was just a really, really neat experience. And I sent Stoney a text and I said, you know, the show was amazing, which I completely expected, but just the extra having us there and, you know, being able to sit and chat with you guys for a while was really special. So
That is something special.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's a story not many people have to tell.
No, it was really fun. It was really fun. But Paul's like, I'm just like the coolest guy right now. He's like, you want to shake the hand that shook the hand of Michael Wilton? You know, and so it was just funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice. All right, awesome. I like to wrap these up
Yeah. Yeah.
by asking you who should be next? Who do you nominate to be next on the Minnesota Music Note?
You know, just because we mentioned him, and I don't think you've had him yet. Wayne Czar.
Okay. I
Wayne
met him
Czar.
at breakfast like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago and
Okay.
already invited him to be on the show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because we were chatting. I'd never met him in person before, but I've seen him at a lot of the jams.
Okay. Do I have to pick somebody you haven't already invited?
No, that's fine. If
Okay,
you
I
want to
think you
throw
should.
somebody else out there, you're welcome to. You can get,
Oh my gosh, in the scene.
So yeah, I guess you have to pick somebody else.
You know
I
what?
already invited him, Beth.
You know what? He's probably gonna be mad. Maybe he'll love it. Because I'm trying to get somebody different from a different perspective. I would think Rick Dobbelman would be a great person to have on.
Okay.
He is a sound guy. He's a sound engineer, and he happens to be Queen of the Reich's personal sound engineer. So when we
Sweet.
go anywhere, he goes with us, but he's also the sound engineer for Hybrid Theory, Lincoln Park Tribute,
All right.
and he's the house guy at the Doghouse.
Okay.
And he also works he has a day job in AV for Lifetime, the Lifetime Fitness. And I just think it would be interesting to hear from a sound engineer
For
because that's a different angle. That's a
love it.
completely different angle. He might just be like, Beth, you're high, but I just think that would be really neat. And I'm sorry if there's somebody else important that I haven't thought of. that I haven't thought of because sometimes I get brain freeze when I'm
Wh-
put on the spot. But I'm sure there's a lot of you who should be on this show. So,
The way that I'm doing this is I literally want to know everybody. So it's like
oh, okay.
like the what is it, 7 layers of Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just, you know a couple of people, I know a couple
Yeah.
of people. A lot of the people I've brought on so far are people that I know, but now a couple of them are people that I don't know, like the guy coming in after you. I've never met him.
Oh, what's his name?
Johnny Williams. He's a younger
Are you thinking it's not Tony?
performer.
No, you already had
I
Tony.
already had Tony. Yeah, this is Johnny Williams. So
Oh,
I
okay.
never met him. He was recommended by somebody else to be on the show, and I was
Oh.
like, "Cool." I reached out to him. He said, "Yeah." So I get to meet somebody brand new after this that I've ever met.
Oh,
So
that
yeah.
is super.
So
That's
even if you
super,
come up
super
with
great.
more, if it just inspires you, oh man, you got to talk
Yeah.
to Will. Go be on the Minnesota Music
Yeah.
Note, whatever we're called. Yeah, awesome.
I would say anybody in any of my bands too are fascinating people. So
Well, one of the things that Casey Beach actually recommended,
yeah.
because I love her. She's
Oh yeah.
one of my favorite female artists, singers in this community. Really wonderful singer, really wonderful person. But she's coming on the show, and she's like, we should have like a couples thing. I said, wow, like power couples. I said, we're absolutely going to do that. So we're season 2, if you will. We have your
Yeah.
idea when season 1.
Sign me and Steve up for sure.
But I'm going to get like maybe 3,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll come up with like little games and just have some fun.
That would be
You
so
know what I
much
mean?
fun.
Fun
Yeah.
with different people that are out there playing and couples that are in music and
Well, you guys are a couple too. You and
exactly.
Kay.
Yeah, my wife and I will definitely be on for sure. So
Yeah. Oh, that would
so
be so
much fun,
fun.
right?
That would be so much fun. And I think Casey and AC met each other through the scene as well. I mean,
Really?
yeah,
Nice.
I believe so. Casey, AC, please tell me if I'm wrong, but I think they met through the music scene locally, like at Serums or something. Yeah.
It's awesome. Just bringing so many people together.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. It's a great community.
Music is such a common language, that we all have together. And like I said, when you go out on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night and you're around a bunch of other people that are like, I'd rather do this than anything else.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, I have another person now.
Oh.
Because I want to get.
hit me.
Have you had Big Glasses Energy Productions, Allison
No.
Merrill?
I know Allison though. Yeah.
I mean, because she's putting out, not only is she doing photography, but she's also putting out a weekly guide of all of that. And I think that's such an interesting angle of support for the scene
Absolutely.
and all of that. And I think she would be a really fun interview.
Yeah, her and Randy, actually. I thought of.
Yeah.
I think I actually did invite Allison in the very beginning. She never responded to me. but
Oh.
She's got multiple accounts because she
Oh, yeah.
all this stuff. So I think I might just hit her on the wrong one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll get her on. That's an awesome one. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And Randy Barnes would be good too. I remember when he only had like 60, there were like 60 followers. And I remember playing, I think it was in Matamita years and years and years ago. And he showed up and I remember giving him a shout out and trying to just increase that because he does such a good job
Yeah.
of promoting that and Christmas lights.
Yeah.
He does a Christmas lights one too.
Does he really?
Yeah. So you can go
Nice.
see around the metro where there are Christmas lights.
Nice. Well, we need musicians and we need people who are
We need art.
supporting it. And yeah, absolutely.
We need art. Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much, Beth. Thanks for
Thank
being on the
you.
show.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun.
It has. Pretty awesome.
In the still of the night, I hear the wolf howl, honey, sniffing around to your door. In the still of the night, I feel my heart beating heavy, telling me I gotta have more.